better late than never. The Texas Bowl is here. Welcome to bowl season. SEC versus Big 12. The LSU Tigers, who are 6-6, will take on Kansas State Wildcats, who are 7-5. This line has moved a couple of times, including this morning, where Kansas State is favored by 7 points as it stands, with a total sitting at 47.5. LSU will be coming into this one off back-to-back wins against ULM, and of course that big one over number 15, Texas A&M, all the way back on November 27th. Kansas State, meanwhile, lost their last two of the season to number 11 Baylor and Texas. What I can tell you right now is I definitely won't be taking the over due to the quarterback situation going on within LSU, which we will get to in a second. But the fact that the Wildcats didn't even get to 300 offensive yards in their last three games is also surprising. But Arky, how are you going to be playing this Texas Bowl tonight?
Oh, God, this is, first of all, it's a gross game. It's gross because Kansas State is not a high-powered offensive team. They're a strong defensive team, and that's how they sort of keep in most of their games and win a bunch of games to be able to get to this bowl. By the way, there should not be a bowl other than the national championship happening right now. It reminded me a few years ago when, I think the Mobile Bowl, the GMAC Mobile Bowl was like 4 days after the national championship. It was really weird. But LSU's in trouble. It was reported that they'll only have 39 scholarship players available for tonight's game. Now, you may think that's a bunch of players, but you're allowed to have 85 scholarship players. So, not so much. And it's injuries, it's transfers, it's people opting out. And that includes someone like a Garrett Nussmeier, who we thought was going to be the quarterback going into this game for LSU.
Yep.
But it looks like he's going to not play to reserve his redshirt year. Remember, in the NCAA, you can play up to 4 games in a season and then keep your redshirt if you only play four games. That changed a couple seasons ago. So there's a lot on the line as far as pride-wise with the LSU. But I don't know if they just don't have the guys. Like, at some point, the depth is really, really challenged by Kansas State because they are a very physical team. I can't see any way other than playing Kansas State in this game. Like, it's not meaningless. It's a big game for both these two teams. If this game gets played, we've seen a game get canceled just like 3 hours before kickoff this postseason. If they play this game, I can't take any side but Kansas State. Like, it's just the more positive side to be able to take in this. If I'm going to bet my money on it, and of course I am because I'm a degenerate like that, but I have to have play on this game, and I do. I can't bet LSU. I just can't.
I'm right there with you. And I always say that I take the SEC teams in bowl games, which I'm not going to do today. But really quickly, why is the Texas Bowl so much later? Because when I went back and looked at my pictures, I think it was like New Year's Eve day that we played because we celebrated New Year's on the bus ride back to Missouri. Yes, a bus ride from Houston, Texas to Columbia, Missouri.
Well, all of these games are owned by a certain 4-letter network, essentially. So they're trying to manage games against the NFL. They're trying to move them around to give people things still to watch. So these things are all fluid except for like 3 bowl games. Every day can sort of change. And they're going to give you a little bit of an appetizer after a Monday Night Football game before the national championship game. I agree. I don't think this game, I don't think after the semifinals there should be another game anyway other than the national championship game. But yeah, it's just one of those weird, like, these are made for TV games anyway.
Yeah. Seems like a little bit of an afterthought, but
It is.
All right. I'll get straight to the point here. I like Kansas State in this one tonight. Here is why. LSU just has too many moving pieces right now, as you mentioned, all of this. First of all, they've got interim coach Brad Davis leading the way, who, by the way, will be staying on as the O-line coach under Brian Kelly, so at least he'll be on long term. And then you mentioned, Arky, just 39 scholarship players. You have an absolute mess at quarterback between Max Johnson transferring, Miles Brennan, who left and came back but is recovering from an arm injury. From there, it's a toss-up between Tavion Falk and Matt O'Dowd. So what we can conclude from this is that I just don't have a lot of confidence in this LSU team. What I do like is K-State's running game and Deuce Vaughn, who finished 4th in the Big 12 in rushing yards at over 1,200 and 2nd in touchdowns at 15. Now taking a look at those trends, LSU went 5-7 against the spread this season and went 2-1 when going in as the 7-point underdogs. K-State finished 6-6 against the spread and went 1-1 when favored by 7 or more. So with that, I will be breaking my SEC rule tonight. And yes, Arky, I will be taking K-State at -7. Nothing against LSU, but your team just scares me a little right now, and not in a good way. So gonna stay away from LSU.
Yeah. Again, that's if they play. All right. Like so, we'll see if they get a chance to play. But I'm with you.